all doing well. I'm doing a 30-minute session for a client. I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and energy healing. If any of you are interested in exploring a session with me, you can do so at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Okay, so thank you so much for booking this session. Thank you so much for the opportunity to connect with you today. And thank you for sharing with others here on YouTube. All right, so there aren't any specific goals. We're just going to see what comes up, okay? I'm so excited to see what comes up. All right, I'm going to relax now and get tuned in here. What is the most meaningful wisdom and energy healing I could share with you today? Okay. I hear someone tap dancing over there in the distance. And their tap dancing is kind of like a greenish color, all right? So I hear the sound and I experience the color green. And I experience that it's over there. All right. You know what this is like? I mean, this is a third eye experience. This has to do with psychic sight, is what this is like for me. Because a lot of the emphasis is on I can't see. I'm trying to see. But it's not understanding how to see. So it is to see it. It is to hear some tap dancing. I mean, that's my interpretation. How else am I supposed to define it? I mean, it literally sounds like tap dancing. It literally, I'm hearing it, feeling it, experiencing it over there, and I am experiencing the color green. That's literally what's coming to me. That's my psychic experience right now. I mean, that's as authentic as it's ever going to be. All I can do is literally share with you what is coming to me. I can't do anything but that. Now, what is it to psychically see? So if you were to close your eyes and let's just say I'm going to tap into something psychic right now, and you started picking up on some tap dancing in the color green over there, what would you make of that? Does that mean your third eye is closed? No. That's the message, okay? That's the message. But let's follow through, right? Let's see where this takes us. Okay, because the next thing is, you know what? It feels like this has to do with the physical lungs. And the reason I say that is because, like, I don't know what the lungs, I mean, I'm trying to recall back to, like, human anatomy class and stuff. And maybe if I were watching some TV show where they're opening up the chest or something. But I want to describe it as kind of like an internal organ, and it makes me think of breathing, and it's, I don't know, I also think of the liver, okay? So I'm not a doctor, so I'm not the best here, but that's what's coming to me. Where is this coming from? Like, what is happening here? What's my psychic experience right now? Well, I'm interpreting. Literally, this is what's coming to me, and so this is my interpretation. I'm supposed to tell you this stuff. So what does that mean? Tap dancing over there, color green, reminds me of the lungs, like actual tissues, and the liver. That's what's coming to me, okay? But the challenge is, this overlay that's always there is I can't see. I can't see. So, okay. Again, a third eye thing, because it's not about seeing this human world. It's more like seeing something beyond. And how do I interpret it? How do I see it? Am I psychically seeing? How do I psychically see? I mean, this is kind of what's circulating here. Oh. You're really kind of closed off for some reason. Like, you're small, you're looking downward, your face kind of comes to a point, like a bird's beak. And it's not at the top. You have like a normal upper face, and then the lower part of the face just kind of comes forward like a bird's beak, but it looks like a human mouth somehow on that. Like a really pointy chin, that's like where the mouth would be. But the mouth is there. and you're wearing a black miniature, you're a miniature person wearing a black tuxedo, and you kind of have like your hair slicked back like you're trying to be a vampire impersonation or something. I tell you, this is there's a major lack here because there's nothing really alive. I mean, it's just random stuff. All right. So the only way to truly interpret random stuff is you have to work with your heart. You have to work with other senses in order to interpret it. Otherwise, it'll always just be random stuff that makes no sense. Okay, so I'm literally gonna merge with this little reflection of you. It's like a little boy dressed up for Halloween or something. And so I'm kind of merging with you and showing you that, a third eye without a heart is you're going to be missing a lot of the detail, okay? So you got to feel your way through this. So I show you that, okay, let's say some random stuff comes up, tap dancing over there, and then there's green, okay? I want you to just simply look at it as though you're just looking directly at it, okay? And then as you look at it, you'll find yourself coming closer to it, or you won't. But that too says something. If I'm not allowed to move closer to the thing that I'm looking at inside, and that means there's a block, there's an energy resistance there. So what I do is I have to alter my density. And when I do that, either I project my consciousness into that area, that location, or I just disappear and then I can move through. Like the angel versus the human. How does the angel reach us if we have an energy block? So we are pushing them away without realizing it. Then they have to become a lighter density to reach us, which makes them very hard for us to feel, like our higher selves. But this takes practice. I mean, all this takes practice, But the thing is I could talk and talk and talk and talk about this, but you have to trust your intuition. So I'm going to ask you what you feel inspired to do about the tap dancing in the green over there. What do you feel inspired to do? Because right now, it's almost like I'm meant to break it on down. When you start to access third eye opening or trying to work with psychic ability, and you're just picking up on random stuff and it doesn't make any sense, you have to acknowledge it, and it's legit. It's a legit psychic thing. So what does it mean? That's the next step, right? You ask yourself, okay, I'm going to acknowledge green tap dancing over there. Okay, I'm going to acknowledge that. I said it out loud. Okay, what do I feel like doing about it? I feel like it's me, is what you say. And you're sitting down and you're moving your feet all around and making noises with your feet. I mean, they're clickety-clacking. It's really strange. You don't want to stand up and move your feet. You want to sit down and then move your feet while you're seated. You say that this is telling me that I'm missing a step in my life. The step is I have to stand up and move. Because if I'm sitting down while tap dancing, that's a missed step. So I'm moving the feet, I'm making the steps, but I'm missing a step, which is my body needs to be upright. And I needed to see that. I needed to see that. I needed to be aware of that. Say, okay, what next? What's your next inspiration? You say, I want more. You say, what does the green mean to you? What does over there mean to you? You say, let me try. I mean, you're kind of sitting down still, moving your feet and contemplating the next step, but you're having a hard time standing up. Even if you could acknowledge what the next step is, you're having a hard time with the follow through. And so you're kind of deciding that maybe it's not the right time for the next step. I say, stop moving your feet. I mean, my feet were like, blah, 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 blah. I would have a hard time just standing up. Like, relax your feet. Now stand up. Now move. Let's see what you say about this. You say, I don't want to. I don't want to stop my feet from moving. It feels good. Okay. And then you kind of wait for a moment and you say, you know, if I'm looking to move forward in life and I'm acknowledging that I'm missing a step, then I'm going to try something different. So I'll give my feet a break, like a vacation, because I can always make a move again when I'm ready. So you tell your feet and your legs it's okay to just relax now. And when you tell your feet and your legs this, your body sends a lot of energy that pulses from your feet up your legs, through your hips, up, and it's like a squish of liquid that just goes like up you, and then kind of, I don't know what it's doing. It really surprised me. You say, I'll never be right. I'll always be off. Like, there's always going to be something off. I say, yeah, own it, man. Life in a nutshell. It's okay that there's something off. We want there to be something off. If we don't want there to be anything off, then we're living the perfect life. And that's not necessarily realistic. I think it's safe to say it's okay when there's something off. It says, but now, this is what you say, but now that this weird, like literally as a squish of liquid comes up and then it's like it falls back down and things are just confused. As the way energy is moving through you, it's just confused. And now you don't know what to do. And I say, okay, now let's start at the beginning again, when we didn't know what to do. And you started acknowledging that you were seeing some things even if you couldn't understand it. Only to ask your intuition, what does that mean to me, or what do I feel like doing next? Only to gravitate into that form that was tap dancing. Only to discover that you're missing a step. Only to make a hard decision to calm your legs down, to stop. Only for another thing to happen that you have to solve another thing. I say, so just be irritated by it. I mean, sometimes that's one of the steps you got to have. Like sometimes the step is to acknowledge that these steps just aren't flowing. I mean, it's just I don't know what I'm doing from one step to the next. And then I'm having to wait to figure it out, and then time is passing and I just want to flow. But nothing is flowing. And when I get into the next step, only to be surprised by this, only to get to the next step, only to be surprised by this. It just never flows. I mean, so you're irritated, okay? I say, so you want things to flow. What do you want to flow here? Just be able to start seeing and interpreting and understanding and shifting yourself, and everything is just going to fall into place. What if it's not realistic? No matter how badly you want that to be realistic, it sounds like it would be realistic. That things could move like this, right? But if you're going into the unknown space, I'm walking into the unknown and I expect things to just flow. Usually you have to learn how to interpret what is in the unknown, which is helping you to grow and see more about yourself. And so it can be a little bit jammed up in there as you're moving through the flow of the unknown, okay? And you're allowing yourself to feel more comfortable with it. Comfortable with not knowing or not sure what you're doing, you know? I will say there's some amazing energy, just circulation in the heart here through this whole conversation. Circulation in the heart, in the throat too. I mean, you are actually a part of this with me, talking to me, working through this with me. So you're sharing. Kind of putting yourself down. because it's not where you want to be right now. You want to be like profoundly awakened. You want to be, and it's not necessarily that. I want to say you want to be there. What is that? I want to be there already. I just want to be there already. Okay, what is there already? Like what is that, you know? What about right here? You know, I had a weird experience and I traded my old phone for the upgrade, okay? And I was thinking about the last time I did this, and the experience has changed in the last couple of years. And it seems to be like the most meaningless event, but it's exciting because you get a new phone, right? You get to pick out a new phone case and stuff, but then you have to go through the hassle of now all the passwords and the apps and all that, you know? You'll never be able to get that time back. That boring, kind of awkward, kind of exciting, and new time. You'll never get that moment back. And you'll only ever think about that moment more when you're in the next moment, when you're getting the next upgrade, thinking back to what it was like the last time you had an upgrade, wondering what the next phone is going to be like in the next upgrade. So many important things in life, you know, phone upgrades. But I'm telling you, when you start to really see the value of this moment, like nobody, like styles are changing, the way people speak, the more we're getting sucked into the technological world. I mean, the world is changing every day, so we need to hold on to, or not hold on to it at all, but just appreciate this moment, you know? And maybe that is what inspires things to flow, because you're not pushing things or forcing anything to be a certain way by a certain point of time in order for it to feel good enough for you, you know? Because something is lacking in there. You got to live in the moment. Ask you if you're ready now to kind of explore whatever that liquid thing was. You say, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I don't want to look at this image anymore. Okay. Why? You're tired. You don't want to. Something tells me though that you need to linger here just a little longer. What is it though? What is the true root feeling that's making you want to just walk away from this? You say that I'm going to have to develop more skills, and that's going to take time, and that is kind of like kind of a bummer feeling. Some of the skills that you're acknowledging you would have to develop in order to work with psychic ability is patience, practice, working with the unknown, and not really being sure of yourself. So developing confidence in a tool or a technique that you really don't know what you're doing, or you're not allowing yourself to acknowledge that this is a psychic experience, or not sure how to interpret what comes to you. So now you're back in preschool again. And when you feel like you have to go back to the beginning and then sort of work your way through learning these basics and then kind of growing and expanding, it just feels like the rest of your life. It feels like a really long time, and you don't know that you want to devote your life to figuring this out. I mean, that's what you are saying right now, okay? About this. I say, I'm glad we're talking about this. I mean, this is raw, rich stuff. I mean, you're saying that you want to work with your third eye, but then you don't want to develop the skill. You don't want to practice because it's going to take too much time, too much of your life. You would rather work on a skill that you could learn overnight than something that you have to practice. and maybe feel like, yeah, you're dancing with two left feet. So the question is, do you want this or not? Do you want to work with psychic ability? Because you're already putting a lot of weight on how hard this is going to be and how long this is going to take, and none of that is true. Because this entire thing should be so much fun. It should be so exciting to discover who you are in a different way. So do you see the kind of the muck we're walking into here? And why is it building up? And where's all this coming from? And you're just shooting yourself down before you've really given this a chance. We're just going to keep pulling this out. Okay? Because number one, developing psychic ability is fun. All right? It's crazy fun. It's really, really fun. And you have the next step is it's great to go back to preschool. Get to color, get to be a child again, you know? And so when you're just beginning with psychic ability, you have so much margin for not being perfect. And so you still get an A, you know, because you're just a beginner, right? So it's safe. It's a safe experience. It's a very safe experience. So it's fun. It's a safe experience. It's safe to be a beginner. It's safe to practice. And it's interesting to see what comes up time and time again. So do you see where all this got kind of yucky and dense, and why? You know, when it could have stayed just lighthearted and fun and interesting. So maybe the missing step is discovering to have fun with new experiences that you're wanting to explore. Have fun with it. Then you can enjoy doing it for the rest of your life. That's actually a great thing. It's not a daunting thing. It's a wonderful thing, you know? You have a lot of there's a circulation that comes back to you that it challenges you. I mean, it's like pushing you, you know, and pushing you back away from your dream. It's like a bully, you know, you bully yourself. It's going to take your whole life to figure this out, and then you're not going to be very good at it anyway. You don't know what you're doing. You're dumb. You're stupid. Why would you even think you could be psychic? How stupid of you. See, bully pushing you back away from your dream. Because the dream is the right direction. So when you have a bully pushing you away from the right direction, right? Because the bully is insecure. You finding yourself in that direction, what is that going to mean for the bully? You don't need to bully yourself, you know. The world bullies us all day. We don't need to bully ourselves, you know. Like, life in a nutshell is like constantly reminding us of what we don't have, what we want to have, how tired we are, this fear of the future, the memories of the past, the unresolved emotions. You know, it's like every day is hard. You know, the less bullying of yourself you can do, the more empowered you're going to be. Got to give yourself room for that. I don't know why, but I'm going to be the bully for a little bit. And I feel like I'm supposed to push you. Like really hard. Like really push you so that you fight me, okay? Yeah, you're never going to be good at, you know, you're never going to be able to use your third eye. You're never going to be good at it. Look at how pathetic you are, you know? Like, I'm going to push you down, you know? I'm going to push you down. And I'm going to laugh at you. And I'm going to keep telling you about yourself. You don't fight back. But what you do is you think inside yourself. And you're deciding what this all means to you. You yourself can't let go of the initial image with the green and the tap dancing and the meaning. And you're starting to realize that this whole time we've been working through that step, and that it's taken 100 more steps just to do the one thing, which is just to stand up for yourself. Tap the way you want to tap. Give yourself some room to learn and grow. There's something sad in your heart. I say, why don't we let go of everything we've seen thus far? I'm still thinking about those lungs and the liver. But why don't we just start with something fresh? And I say, there's this feeling in your heart, and I feel like you should use your third eye to allow yourself to experience something benevolent, something beautiful and bright. Okay, it's not about what you see, it's about what comes to you. What are you picking up on? What are you picking up on? You say that I'm holding myself back. How'd you know that? Like, how'd you pick up on that? And you say, because I wanted to. It's kind of like you just felt a resistance. That's the best way I could define it, is you just suddenly realized and felt and experienced a resistance between you and something brighter. Because you weren't moving towards it, you weren't allowing it in. You were deciding that you couldn't interpret it. All this stuff was happening. It's in a few seconds. So much happens in just a few seconds. I experience you inhaling like stale air that doesn't have a lot of oxygen in it. So if you take a deep breath, it just doesn't really fill the lungs on the level that and really rehabilitate you. Like really send the oxygen through the body, and it's exciting and it's breathable, and I feel bright and I'm having great night's sleeps. And like there's something about fresh air that just is a very amazing cleanser of the body. And it cleanses your emotions and your thoughts and all that too. This is another thing, just holding yourself back here as well. Almost like there's a you that would rather you just inhale this stale air and struggle to breathe, because it makes you feel grayer, dimmer. It makes you feel more familiar. Things are grayer, dimmer. This feels more familiar. It feels more like home. But if you start getting bright, you're going to be a different person. And what's that going to mean? Is that going to mean happy every single day for the rest of your life? Or is it just going to illuminate the next thing and then the next thing and the next thing? You never stop growing. All right, what's the next thing you see about benevolence or an energy of light that loves you, that is coming towards you? What else comes to you about this? That I'm hungry for this, I'm starving for this, that I want this. Okay, good. So you want this, okay. Now what? Next thing that comes to me is I'm afraid of this. Okay. Now what? I'm afraid to give in to this. Something inside me says it's a weakness. Like, it's kind of like a man holding back tears because he has to be a man. You know, and so if you see a man bawling his eyes out like a baby, it seems like he has a weakness when really it's quite a strength, you know. It's venting, it's feeling, it's expressing emotions openly, sharing. So it's almost like this part of you saying, if I let this, what I long for, this love in, it just, maybe I need to be strong with the suffering and not weak to the light that's just going to baby me. It's kind of like this. All that is ego. All that is the ego. Okay, what else comes to you? I want more out of life than this. Okay? What do you want out of life? You say, I want this light. I want to understand it. I want to talk to it. I want to connect with it. Say, well, does it feel like a weakness still? Or does it feel good now? Does it feel like you can allow this now? You nod and say, yes, I can definitely allow this. And something just happens here. It's like a wall that is a big door that just opens for both sides. But nobody quite goes, like something doesn't come towards you. You don't go towards it, but yet it's open for each other. There's an openness for each other, okay? For the light and the benevolence and the love, and for you. You to connect, it to connect, for you to have some incredible growth and new discoveries isn't a weakness. It's incredible. It's exciting. It's fun, right? It's what real psychic development is all about. Is this juicy good stuff? And it's even fun to find out, if you can be brutally honest with yourself, it's fun to find out what is holding you back. You'll find it's weird things like, well, I'm afraid of being weak. But it just needed to come out. It just needed to be heard and acknowledged, and then it disappears, and then it's not there anymore. And you kind of wonder why you ever felt that way. Because you just need to have more exposure, work through it with honesty, and see how you feel, and then see how you feel, and then see how you feel, and then see how you feel, okay? Over and over and over again, because those are the layers. Those are all the layers that you work through in order to gain a deeper, more powerful connection. And then grow and expand and have fun in the process. And really be able to interpret what your psychic style is, okay? Oh my gosh, this feels so much better. You say that I want to work with all different races of alien beings, basically. You want to work with this race, this race, this race, this race, this race. And when you walk into the light and the benevolence, you want to work with like 100 different races or more. You want to work with as many different races of benevolent beings as you could ever fathom working with. And you want to be like an ambassador of connection and learning and growth and sharing and discovering. You want that. It's like, that's fantastic. That's great. Say, I want to feel love here in my heart. I want to feel that in my heart. I want to feel warmth. And it's like you, the seeker, but they are there coming to you to introduce themselves to you. And you are open to them coming and introducing themselves to you. You want to meet them. I will say the light is so bright. I would never be able to interpret or describe what they look like. And I'm telling you, there's this group, this group, this group, this group, this group. They're just like all of these groups, like apples on a tree. And you welcome them to come to you. This is a bunch of tall women, actually, like six, and they stand in a V shape. So there's one in the front, and then there's several on either side. I guess to make it balanced, it'd have to be like seven. She's got a tall hat on. There's something Egyptian style about the way she's vibing. She's older. She's an older woman. That is in the front that I see. And she has pale skin. And she kind of dances with her hands. Like she keeps her body kind of posed, that she moves only her hips and her hands is all she's doing. Like this. She's like this. And the others are still behind her. They don't move. And she speaks through these gestures of the hands and the body. And you weren't expecting this. She's very snake-like. But she's not snake-looking at all. She's very human-looking. You look at me and shrug and say, I had something different in mind, like actual, I could understand what they were saying. I don't know what she's saying to me. I say, okay, okay. Just watch and wait for your intuition. Ask yourself what comes to you about this. You say, well, I'm still in shock or surprise because I didn't perceive this. It's almost like I want to be able to imagine and then for it to follow through with my imagination. I wasn't expecting surprises. Okay, cool. So what else comes to you? You say, I don't like her. Okay. Why? Why don't you like her? I feel like she's self-absorbed. Okay. Why don't you just walk towards her and just say, help me understand. You say, I never thought of asking her for help understanding her. I guess I was just standing here judging instead of getting to know what this was all about. You say it's totally normal that, like, that is one of the beginning things that you don't realize, that you, in the human world, you may not want to interrupt and say, help me understand. In the energy world, you can interrupt, you can go back in time, you can do anything. You can push them over onto their butt if you want to. I mean, you can do whatever you want. And nobody's actually offended. All there is to learn and 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 decide how it all makes you feel. You say that as you get closer, she represents a mother. and she's extremely nurturing of her children. And there's a vulnerability that you feel in your heart about this representation. Almost like there's that she is how she represents mother is extremely balanced, and you can feel that. So any type of maybe imbalance you may have experienced in your upbringing with your own mother, maybe was creating a block and a resistance from wanting to actually get to know her. So instead, you just let judgment get in the way instead of stepping closer and then learning what it was inside of yourself that was creating that feeling of resistance. You nod. Say, expect surprises and enjoy them. All right, that's all I can share. That was a lot of fun. It was a really neat session. Just enjoy this process of opening up to psychic gifts. I mean, you were speaking from a place of wholeness when you were saying, I want to meet lots of different races of beings. I want to talk to them. I want them to come and talk to me. I want to learn from them. I want to grow from them. And that was sincere. And that's what you working on psychic development is all about. Because it's like learning how to speak another language. But here we have human people to explain things to us. We do have human people to teach us psychic development as well. But you have to learn how to understand that you're already psychic and what that means, and then how to interpret it. And just the more self-aware you become and the more open-minded you become, and the more you allow your intuition to guide you through what comes to you, the more you'll develop and grow, okay? All right. Thank you for this. What a gift. And thank you again for sharing. Everybody watching, thank you as well for watching from beginning to end here. I hope you all have a very wonderful rest of your day.